What's up, guys? This is Derek, moreplates.com. Today we're going to be talking about Chris Dickerson's apparent elbow growth over the course of his career and what is purported to be the result of severe GH abuse. Now, it's really easy to jump to the assumption of GH abuse when you look at the golden era guys and, none of them seem to have this issue. And then there's one, like sore thumb that sticks out, and that's Chris Dickerson. Like most of these guys from the golden era had flawless, midsections, no significant signs of insulin resistance or acromegaly or anything of that nature. And even at the contest where Dickerson won, you go through the lineup, and while it's not the deepest lineup, everyone looks very classic. In the 82 Olympia, everyone looks, like they're not yet in that stage of growth hormone insulin abuse or anything like that. But the thing is even when you go forward to more modern Olympias, you don't see this, elbow growth very frequently, if ever. There's only like a few token individuals who actually have it, and Chris Dickerson is one of the most prominent cases of that. He's usually seen as, the guy with the massive elbows. Is it largely because of he was just so happened to be the only guy in the, golden era that had access to growth hormone? No, I don't think so. I think that it's more likely something called bursitis. And this is basically a part of the elbow that's normally flat that if it becomes irritated or inflamed, more fluid will start to accumulate in it. And the literal area is called the bursa. And the bursitis is a condition in which the inflamed or irritated, bursa becomes saturated with fluid and causes this sort of like elbow distension of sorts that can make it appear as if you have localized bone growth. And a lot of people think, oh, this is a classic sign of acromegaly. But, there's so many guys in more recent years that have just abused the hell out of GH. And you've seen what acromegaly actually looks like in real, modern times. A perfect example of that, in my opinion, was Dallas McCarver. The guy's, face was nearly unrecognizable from when he started bodybuilding to the end of it. And it was all the, cranial changes that occurred from massive dosages of GH and, packing on size, in my opinion. But this elbow growth in particular, I don't think is necessarily a classic sign of acromegaly. I think it's more an inflammation of the bursa itself and not addressing whatever needs to be done to attenuate it. Perhaps it needs to be drained. Perhaps this guy was just banging out, heavy skull crushers and just like kept banging away at this inflamed area of his elbow and just gritted his way through it. But in modern times, we have guys using 20 times the dose of GH of these guys, probably, if these guys were even using GH to begin with. And this elbow issue is not seen very often. And if it were GH, you'd have almost every guy on the Olympia stage nowadays showing prominently, like massive elbows. And, the most notable cases of it, aside from Dickerson, are maybe Ronnie Coleman showed it at one point, and I believe Nick Strath and Power brought to the attention that Flex Wheeler had also displayed bursitis as well. But obviously, everyone knows Chris Dickerson is the most prominent case of this issue. And, the before and afters of his physique before bursitis, it's like he had normal elbows, and then just years later, he's displaying the most inflamed, like acromegaly looking elbows you would imagine are a result of GH abuse. But in reality, I believe it's just pounding away at the elbow without addressing a underlying issue. And it's essentially just a condition that's been, not properly cared for. And perhaps there is some sort of compounding effect with GH and increasing. I do definitely agree with the fact that GH abuse will cause changes in bone density and size. And we see that in modern day as well. But the localized effect at the elbow area, I don't think necessarily is a sign of GH abuse. I believe it's more likely this bursitis that we see attributed to that. So take from that what you will. Let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think this is more a result of GH abuse, or do you think this is more a result of some sort of inflammatory response, or in the case of bursitis, fluid accumulation as a result of this irritation or inflammation? What do you guys think down below? Let me know. Drop a like, and the comments help the algorithm as well, so it's much appreciated when you guys do that. Check me out on Instagram at moreplates_more dates, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, etc. Talk to you guys soon.